Hi guys, what's up? So I was just warming up on my deadlift, so I thought I'd show you guys how I would recommend doing a deadlift, because I see most of the guys doing it wrong all the time. So first things first, setting up the bar. So you want to place your feet somewhere, you take a vertical jump. So if you were to take a vertical jump, there's no way you're going to start something like this. So I want you to start close to the bar, because that's where the center of the mass is. Toes, it doesn't really matter because we're all different. You need to find your perfect spot. Now setting up for the bar, what you want to do is start with the hip hinge. So what I see going wrong most of the time is you're squatting down to the bar. So you're taking your shins to the bar. This makes the bar travel forward, which isn't a good thing. So what you want to do is think about hip hinge. Hip hinge basically means to hinge it, to break at your hips and nowhere else. Hips back and slightly bend the knees, come down straight to the bar. So when you look from this side, the scapula or your shoulder blade is just over the bar. So if you're too down below here, you're too far forward, or you don't want to be forward as well. So general rule, hips back, like we're doing a deadlift, shins away from the bar. So this is a good setup. Because of the start, it makes the deadlift better. So it depends on leverages. For me personally, I have a long femur compared to my lower body, compared to my upper body. So my hip starting position is a bit higher than what we would normally call an ideal form. But for someone who has shorter legs, for example, if their leg is shorter than the upper body, you can start deadlift much lower with your shoulder blades perfectly over the bar. Next is hand placement. You want to block your deadlifts out, so it has to be outside your hips. So for guys who have wide hips and narrow shoulders, it's not where your shoulders are. So it's outside the hips. Yeah? So, and most probably your shins are going to be inside as well. So when you block the weight out, it should be outside the hips and outside the shin at the same time. You don't want to be too far, because when I think your knees will be collapsing inside. So perfect setup, hip position, vertical jump, hip hinge, and grabbing the bar. This is a perfect starting position. First, if there's a little bit of slack in the bar, as you can see, you want to remove the slack from the bar. So basically what that means is you want to wrap the bar around your body. So you want to pull to the bar. Yeah, you see that sound? The click sound? Once the click sound is there, then you start pulling the bar straight up. You don't want to yank the bar away, because if you yank the bar away, then your body tips forward and your shins separate from the bar. So that's a big no-no. You want to keep the bar as close to your body. For example, if I were to hold something over here, it would be much lighter than holding something here. It's going to be even harder. So you want to keep the bar close to your body as possible and to your shin as possible. For that, you need to really set your lats down. There are a few cues you want to do. You can wrap the bar around. You can see my lats engage. This is the perfect starting position. From here, you can replicate a leg press. Leg press, just think paddle on your back, your legs are in your stomach, and you're pressing. This is a good start. Now, bracing. A lot of coaches I've heard that the athletes arch your back on the deadlift, which is not wrong, but you don't want to arch your back. You want to brace your abdominal wall. That basically means taking a deep breath, not to your chest, but to your stomach, and push your tongue to the roof of your mouth. It's also called a salva maneuver, so that helps you brace the core, which makes the deadlift a safer lift movement, and the arch back comes naturally. So again, you're going to set up properly, hip hinge motion, deep breath, set your lats down, and like leg press from your heels and drive straight up. That's proper. Back your lats. And up. Now, there's normally three types of grip that you would normally see on a deadlift. First is a double overhand grip. One is the mixed grip, and the other one is the hook grip, where you grab your thumb inside. This is the one I personally do. Whichever you're the strongest is the one I would recommend you to use. Fusion and lock out of the lip. So what you want to do, once you're perfectly set up to the point of your knees, your hips and your shoulders rise at the same time. From there, you want to try and bring your hips closer to the bar. So that makes a quick lockout. You don't want to be too far forward like that and lock out. It takes a lot of time. Once the bar crosses the knees, you lock the weight out. That's basically everything about the conventional deadlift. If you guys have anything regarding conventional deadlift, because there are hundreds and hundreds of cues that you can follow. If you have anything, feel free to ask me questions and I'll try and get back to you. Let's move on to sumo deadlift. This is the one that I personally do. In a sumo deadlift, what you're looking for is a wider stance of the leg. What we're ideally looking for, again, close to the bar, your hips hinge motion. Big mistake that I see on sumo deadlift is guys tend to go too wide, thinking that shorten the range of motion. But if you do this, you're not stacking your knees with the ankles. Your knees have to be stacked with ankles and your knees have to come in a straight line, tracking with your toes from your hips. What I normally tell you guys to do is, if you look from the front, you want your legs to be completely straight, meaning 90 degrees. You don't want to start too low, because if you start too low, your shoulder blades are going to be back. If you start to lift, you're going to tip forward. So, slow, eccentric, grab the bar, and everything else from here is the same, just that the leg position is a bit different. You're going to grab the bar with the grip of your choice, back your lats in, and stand straight up, and lock it out. Another cue I'd like to give is, if you're having trouble finding your starting position, what you can do is, you can go slow eccentric with something relatively heavy for you. So slow eccentric, because let the bar fall down straight. Yeah? And this is the starting position. You can take pictures from the side, take pictures from the front, because the bar travels in a straight line. There's no way you can do this with a heavy load. It has to come straight down. Yeah? Straight down, that's your starting position. The biggest difference between the two lifts are the foot stance. First thing, in the conventional deadlift, we're looking at more bent back angle. That means it works the hamstring more, it works the reactor muscles more. And in the sumo deadlift, what we're looking for is a more upright angle of the torso. So we're looking for more activation in the glutes and some quad activation as well. One thing I'd like to say is, conventional deadlift or sumo deadlift, they both have their own advantages and disadvantages. It's not that one is easier than the other. I like doing sumo deadlift just because I can train more volume in it, because that takes a toll on my recovery if I do it too often. That's the reason I do sumo. And if your purpose is only bodybuilding, it really depends on what muscle group you're trying to target. If you're working more on your hamstrings and lower back, I'd recommend conventional deadlift. If your target is more some quads and more glutes compared to the hamstrings, it's definitely sumo deadlift. And if you're a power lifter like myself, whichever helps you train more, whichever you can lift more weight, I recommend doing that. And for some of you bodybuilders out there, you probably might say constant tension. For constant tension, you want to keep the tension on the muscles. So when do you breathe? Because like I previously said, you want to breathe when you're not performing the movements. For example, you breathe at the top and hold your breath. It's also called the Romanian deadlift. You can keep constant tension in the muscle, don't touch the floor. Breathe at the top, not in the movement. And these guys don't shout while deadlifting. That's the riskiest thing you can do for your back. For me personally, I consider deadlift a lower body exercise rather than an upper body exercise, because a lot of you guys do it on back days. If it was for me, I would program it on your lower body days. For heavy deadlifts, for powerlifting, I would do a heavy deadlift only once a week, and maybe an assistant sort of deadlift another time in the week. So if I did 5 sets of 5 on the first day, second day would be something very light, 3 sets of 10 maybe, 3 sets of 8. It really depends, guys. It really depends on how you program your lifts. Now there's a lot of accessory work for you powerlifters out there. If you're weak off the floor, if you're weak at the lockout, if your grip is weak, that's another video. If you guys want to find out more about deadlifts, please let me know, because this video is probably already too long. 12-15 minutes. Yeah, it's been too long. I hope you guys like the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. You can even direct message me on Instagram, because I reply to all fitness queries. And that's basically it. Until then,